Hey guys, Mark Daniels Jr. here, coming to you from the last and final stop of the FLW tour here on the Potomac River. Man, I fished here last year and I was really looking forward to coming down here. It's a tidal fishery, has a lot of grass, things that fish towards my strength. And I ended up having a rough event overall, finishing in 90th place, but I think we still got ourselves enough points to make the ultimate goal all season long, which is the Forest Wood Cup. So with that said, I still want to walk you guys through kind of what I did here on the Potomac River, where I fished, the techniques I used, and how I caught my fish. On day one, I ended up weighing 12 pounds, 4 ounces. I was sitting in 33rd place. I actually wasn't doing too shabby, and it just didn't happen for me on the second day. But let's talk about day one and what I did. The tide was low first thing in the morning when we got out there, which is what I was really looking forward to. And that milfoil in the main river was kind of matted up, which allowed me to get in there and throw this frog. This happens to be this is a snack proof. This is Ish's frog, the fat frog, and the color is the man. And it's called that for a reason, man. This is just a color that I use coast to coast no matter where I go. It's very basic. It's an all white frog. You can see it really well. You can see when the bass take it. And this one walks terrific right out the pack, and so this is a go-to bait for me. The rod selection I'm using on this is a 7'3" heavy action Keesler Helium 3, 50-pound Seaguar Smackdown braid, very high speed gear ratio reel. This is a Shimano Core 7-to-1 gear ratio. Anytime you're fishing heavy cover, you need a high speed reel to get those fish out of that heavy cover really fast before they bog you down and come off. So that's what I did first thing in the morning when I rolled up on my first area, and it was low tide and it was matted up really good. I could hit them with this frog. As the tide switched and started coming in and I started getting some current flowing through the grass, you could always tell because the grass starts laying over, so the water was starting to come in. I kind of switched gears a little bit and I started flipping the grass. And this is a 3/4 ounce Eco Pro tungsten sinker on here. I got a 3/0 Gamakatsu flipping hook. And this is a Big Bites Baits Yo Mama, not even a sponsor of mine, but this is just a bait that I've caught big bass on coast to coast, again, no matter where I go, and very basic in the color, black and blue. You can't go wrong with that. Rod selection here is, of course, my signature series, 7'11" heavy action MAD series Keesler Helium 3. Paired this up again with 50-pound Seaguar Smackdown braid and high speed reel, 8.5-to-1 Shimano Metanium. As soon as I get bit, couple cranks to the handle, get them out of there and in the box. Caught a couple key fish on this setup right here on day number one, and that helped me land my my 12-pound 4-ounce bag. As the day progressed, the tide came back in. Fishing for me got really tough. I wasn't doing well on high tide to begin with, but I kind of got into some of the flatter areas in the Belmont Bay. A lot of guys were in there, and I was just dragging a Cinco around. You know, nothing special, taking my time, dragging this Cinco around. And I caught some really good fish in there in practice, but I just think the boat pressure got to them in the tournament. There had to have been at least 30 boats in that area. And so it's always hard to catch big fish when you're fishing around a crowd like that. But the rod selection on this is a 7'4" Keesler Helium 3 medium heavy, 15-pound Seaguar Tatsu line, 7-to-1 Shimano Core. And this is just a little 1/4 ounce Eco Pro tungsten weight on the front of there. And you could, you know, I like the tungsten weight when I'm dragging these stick style baits, because when you get in those little hard bottom areas, you can really feel it. That tungsten transmit all that vibration. So when you hit a little rock on that, you can really feel that difference. And I think those fish kind of just sit in those little holes where there's hard bottom. And then last but not least, I caught some fish on the chatterbait, man, in the same areas, those grass flat areas. When the tide got up, I could throw this chatterbait around and tick some of the grass and pick up a few bites. Got a Lake Fork Magic Shad on the back of that, 3/8 ounce, 15-pound Seaguar Tatsu line. This is a 7'4" Keesler Helium 3, medium heavy action. And again, high speed reel. This is a Shimano Chronarch 7.6-to-1 gear ratio. You know, trying to get them in the boat as fast as I can. So that's why I like the high speed. Something that really helped me out this week on the Potomac River, being that it's a tidal fishery. You know, I come from a tidal background, being a California Delta rat, but my Garmin electronics are something that I utilize in every event that I go to, and even more so here on the Potomac River. Not so much for the down view or the side scan like I would use at Chickamauga, but for the tidal I can pull up all the tides up and down this entire river really quick, very easily and simplistic, and not have to overthink things. So as I'm running down the lake, and I'll show you guys here on my unit, you simply press the info button. The very first thing that pops up at the top there says tides and current. You hit tides, boom, pops up. Has the chart here, has the time range. You can adjust this to the time of the day, and it tells you what the tide's gonna be doing at what time, where. If I need to change the date, I can simply hit next day to go into the future, or I can hit previous day to look into the past. And then I can also select the different stations. I mean, Indian Head, Quantico Bay, Liverpool Point, Marshall Hall, Maryland. I mean, Goose Creek Pond. The list goes on and on. You can just keep scrolling down. A Quiet Creek, to anywhere you would like to see on the Potomac River, it'll tell you, and it's very easy, user-friendly. And then I'll just back right on out, and I'm back to my mapping, running up and down the river to wherever I want to go. Guys, it has been one heck of a season. This is the last event, and although I didn't have the finish that I wanted, you know, I'm pretty confident that I'm going to make the Forest Wood Cup, which, if you guys remember at the very beginning of the year after fishing Toho, that was the one goal that I set out. And so I want to thank all my sponsors for all the support they've given me, and I want to thank all of you guys for following me along this year and supporting me all this season. And we'll see you guys at the Forest Wood Cup. You guys be sure to follow me on social media at Mark Daniels Jr. On Facebook, Mark Daniels Jr. on Instagram, MDJ Fishing on Twitter. My website, of course, is markdanielsjrfishing.com. And you guys, as always, better be checking out Circuit Breaker. I'll see you guys at Lake Ouachita.